Well, happy Friday, everybody. TGIF. I thought it wasn't going to be a very happy Friday today. While I was sitting at work, counting down the days, and emails started popping up. 10 of them from Carnival. Important information concerning your cruises. Said to myself, here we go. John Held said they weren't canceling nothing, but here we go. So after I got the guts to open one of them up, well, we'll talk about it in here in just a second. We'll be right back. All right, so what was the important information that we got today? Well, I'm going to share it with you. If you got a cruise booked between now and April, you probably got the same email, so go check your email, and we'll read this one here together. All right, so here's a copy of the letter. Very important information from Carnival, dated today. The first paragraph basically just says that they've done 350 voyages since July. They've had over 1 million guests, and the most important part about this whole thing is right here, where their case rate has been much lower than what has been expected in the U.S. So if you've been paying attention to the news and all the cruise companies, that 0.02% of all the guests on almost 100 ships that are out there right now sailing have tested positive. So that's less than 0.2%. So that's pretty darn good if you ask me. Anyway, they go on to say, while we've hoped to have been in a different place with the pandemic by now, it is clear that continued attention to these additional protocols and procedures are required to keep our guests and crew healthy and maintain confidence of destination officials. I'm sure this really comes from mostly the destinations that have been turning away cruise ships. So naturally, when they go to a port, they want to go in there with no COVID cases whatsoever, or they're going to be turned away, which creates problems, as we saw on the NCL ship that was heading back to New York. Anyway, therefore, until further notice, they'll continue to operate vaccinated voyages with the enhanced protocols, and they're not going to try to predict when this is going to end. And I think that's pretty smart and wise of them, because here in Florida, if you're from Florida, the numbers are starting to go way down, and they're going up in a couple other states, but they're going way down in Florida. So maybe a month from now, who knows, maybe this will be a thing of the past, and hopefully in about 2 years, we can look back on this time and laugh and giggle what we were doing. Anyway, guests on vaccinated cruises must adhere to their vaccination, testing and mask requirements, the limited vaccine exemption process, and all the protocols which are followed today. For more information, you can click here, and we'll do that in just a second. And it just goes over all the masking stuff that they're doing. And like I said, it's really not bad. You have to have a mask on when you're doing embarkation and debarkation in the terminal. You have to have a mask on when you walk into any of the shows and you're going to do your sip and cover thing that they want you to do if you're drinking a drink. But you can sit at a bar with no mask. You can go outside, and pretty much everything outside, out by the pool area, is definitely normal. And again, we'll go over all those in just a second. In the event guests are unable to meet our vaccination requirements and are currently booked on a cruise departing April 22nd and onward, you must contact them by February 15th to receive a full refund. Okay, that's anything you've put down, your deposits, your excursions, if you've booked a specialty restaurant, anything you've put down on that cruise, you're going to get 100% of that back refunded on the cards that you used or however you paid for it. All right, in addition, they're going to be doing some other things here. They're going to do, number one here, they're going to do it, they're calling this Verify. They're only going to try it on the Mardi Gras coming up. And what that is you can actually upload your vaccination card, your negative COVID test, your picture, and all that, and have that already done before you even get to the port to make your checking in a little bit easier and faster. Now, I'll be honest with you, we went in November, as you know, and we went again in December, and it took literally 5 minutes for us to check in show our stuff, because they really didn't even really look at a lot of that stuff, because when you do a COVID test and you do it where it's proctored, they go to a website and they can tell if you're negative or positive on that, and it's going to show them. You really don't need that. I mean, bring it. Always bring it. But they hardly even looked at them. All right, now this is a good one here. Now, I hope this isn't a misprint right down here. If you want to get tested at the port, vaccinated guests will be able to meet the pre-cruise testing requirements as part of the embarkation process for a cost of, that's $10. That's $10 per test. Now, I know some at the port were charging $150 for a test. So if Carnival's really only charging you $10 and that's not a misprint, good for Carnival. Say what you want about Carnival, but that's awesome. A $10 test. I would still get one. I would still order some of them and do it at home. It's just a whole lot easier, because this is still going to slow you up getting onto the ship. Okay? And then they just tell you to be safe and do all that stuff. But these are the protocols that we've encountered on both the ships and that we've been on. That, you fully vaccinated. If you want the exemption, you have to do that. Your testing has to be within 2 days. I've heard 72 hours. I've heard 24 hours. We always do it the day before. That way it's newer. You know that when you get on there, if you only tested the day before, you more than likely are not going to test positive, or you're not going to have any symptoms or anything. And it has to be done, either online as it's proctored. It has to be proctored. And then when that gets done, and I did my, if you go back to my testing video, you'll see how we did it. It's very simple to do it at home. Or you can go to any CVS or Walgreens and also get that done too. But make sure you make that test. And I would do it the day before you leave. Okay? Unvaccinated exemptions, you got to get the doctors. It has to be around to towards 10 days or longer and all that. So make sure you get that done. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the people on there are vaccinated. Testing, here it says ages 2 and older must present a negative COVID test within 72 and 24 hours prior to check-in. So I'm not really sure why they're putting both of that there. For example, if it's on a Saturday, the test may be taken, I get it, from a Wednesday through a Friday, but not on the morning of embarkation. Okay? If you are unvaccinated, naturally you have to have travel insurance. You should have that anyway. Trust me. I know from past experience. Okay? You can get that exemption notice also from Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Maryland, South Carolina, Alabama, Virginia, and New York-based ships. Your shore excursions, unvaccinated, cannot go ashore in the ports of call on their own. You have to go on a booked excursion, what they're basically calling a bubble excursion, where everybody has to stay together on that cruise if you're unvaccinated. Bubble tour. But if you're vaccinated, you can pretty much wander off. We've done that on both of our past cruises. We pretty much went everywhere. Again, they can't guarantee additional restrictions won't be imposed by local authorities in the destinations they visit. Please review the destination requirements for unvaccinated guests in the ports of call. Okay, I know San Juan turned a couple of ships away. I know Grand Turk just started receiving ships again, but guests 16 and older have to remain on board. They can't get off if they're unvaccinated. Okay, so anyway, your travel insurance, I'm not going to get into all that. You can read all that on your own. Mask and physical distancing. This is indoors, and I'm just going to go right down to here. You must have it, like I said, going through the terminal, embarkation and debarkation. You got to have a mask on the entire time. Indoors on the ship, if you're unvaccinated, you have to remain 6 feet away. If you're vaccinated, you do not have to social distance. Outdoors, you remain at 3 feet from others when not wearing a mask and not in your cruise companion group. If you're vaccinated, you do not need to do that. Casino, this is something I want to talk to you a little bit about because I believe here There's no smoking in the casino, and that's basically the easiest way to look at this, is there's no smoking inside the ship anywhere. Now, I know on the Elation, they had the smoking area up on deck 11, which is over the pool on the, I believe it was the port side. That's the only smoking area on the ship, but they set it up pretty nice for you out there with umbrellas and tables facing each other and everything. So it wasn't a whole big thing, and I really actually thought that the casino would be empty, and it wasn't. It was still packed, even though there was no smoking in there. All right, so just the last thing I'll talk about a little bit is the masks. They do what they call the sip and cover. If you go into, like, for example, the casino, you got to keep your mask on at all times. If you're drinking a drink, it's take your mask down, take your sip, and put your mask back on in there. It's the same way if you are in any of the shows, the comedy show or the main theater. Works the same exact way in there. Now, if you're sitting at a bar, like out by the casino bar, or you're sitting at the bars outside, or you're sitting at the Alchemy bar or anything like that, most of the people we saw did not have a mask on, and they never put one on while they were doing it. We were on the Magic at the Red Frog pub, and nobody had a mask on in there either, because they were all had drinks. Again, outside, no mask whatsoever, no social distancing, especially if you're vaccinated. Now, one of the things Carnival doesn't do, as Royal Caribbean does, is they don't put a wristband on you to tell anybody that you're vaccinated. You really don't know who is and who isn't. And that's pretty much it. Just a quick update. Like I said, I got a lot of emails today, 10 of them, again, for all the cruises we got booked. If you like what we're doing, again, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when we put up a new video. And definitely hit that thumbs up button if you like what we're doing. Thank you for watching. And again, my name is Patrick, and this is Part of You 2 Cruising, and we'll see you next time.